Hey everybody, this is the latest edition of 3 and Out. Chiefs lose again. They're now 1-3 out here in Cincinnati, 36-21 to the Bengals. A little better performance, I think we can all agree. But we're going to go ahead with our no-huddle spread edition of this. We're going to do our best Chip Kelly impression, the Oregon Chip Kelly, not the Philly Chip Kelly. And I always like to start off with Vahe because I think he's a good leadoff hitter. But sometimes you got to switch up the lineup. Okay, so let's go with Blair Kerkhoff. Let's hear what you've got to say. What do you got here, man?
Hey, what's wrong with a team that scores 7 times? They scored 7 times today. They're all field goals as Cairo Santos sets a Chiefs record. I think a couple things that, you know how I like to hone in on sort of a specific play or a moment in the game, and I'm going to go to that moment. It wasn't at the end of the first half. We'll talk about that a little bit. To me, it was in the third quarter. Chiefs had playing from behind the whole game. They get it to 21-15, and they get the ball back. They force a punt. They get the ball back. Jamal Charles goes up the middle for 12. First down at the 37. Next 2 plays, intentional grounding and a 10-yard sack. They go in reverse, and then Alex Smith completes a pass to Travis Kelce. He fumbles, sets up a short field touchdown for the Bengals. I just thought that was the key moment of the game. I was starting to get a decent vibe about the Chiefs at this point. Yeah. They're kicking field goals. They're moving the ball. They were within a touchdown and within 6 points. That turned the game to me. And then it just it was all Cincinnati after that.
Right, Vahe?
I think that was the pure pivot point when the game turned exactly. I think the symbolic pivot point was the end of the first half when the Chiefs had the ball at the 26 with more than 2 minutes left at the Cincinnati 26, and in the minute 51 seconds ran off 3 plays and just barely managed to get a field goal kick. There was some confusion with the officials on coming out of a timeout in there, but there were also 2 Chiefs penalties. There were 2 runs that I thought were uninspired calls, and a classic case of backing up the accusation that Andy Reid's a bit conservative on these things and so risk averse in my mind as to handcuff his team.
Yeah, and just the last thing from me, I'm okay with the effort they came out and played with. It's important that they came out and played a lot harder and a lot better than they did against Green Bay, and I think they did that. The game looked like it was going to get away from them early in the game, but they were able to kind of fight in there and claw in there. So like the next step of actually beating a good team, not just playing hard, not just making a few plays, making the plays to win the game. I think one thing that's important to remember here, and you actually brought this up, 3 teams they lost to are 12-0. So it's entirely possible these guys are 1-3, and it's still a pretty decent football team, pretty good football team. And I was looking at the schedule. Hey, man, you got a chance to kind of get back over 500 pretty easily. You beat the Bears, who the Chiefs are better than. You beat them. You somehow come away with a win at Minnesota. It's a competitive team, but they're beatable. Then you get Pittsburgh at home with no Roethlisberger. Yeah. You win those 3 games, all of a sudden you're 4-3, and you're building towards something now. So, like, hey, long season, first quarter's done. That's okay. Still got more to go. I think it's too early to really just say, hey, these guys are done. There's a chance here that they can win the next 3. This team is better than this record. And had they not blown the Denver game, they'd be 2-2, and no one will be even entertaining this question. So we'll see how they do this week. Still not going to be a very happy locker room. NFL teams lose 3 in a row and people stop talking. But we'll do everything we can to bring you the news like we always do. We appreciate you watching. And until next time, this is Terez, Vahe, and Blair. Hopefully we'll have Sam in the mix. We miss him. Well, not really. But yeah, we love you, man. All right, take it easy, guys. See you.